in advance, Congress's own investigation. The latest FBI bulletin about possible hijackings. Watch out for Chechens in first class and explosives mixed with coffee. The Golden Arches under pressure. McDonald's is desperately hungry for customers. Medicine on the cutting edge tonight. Experimental surgery to replace a hip. Less invasive and a faster recovery. We'll take a closer look. And how they kept the magnificent cave a secret for more than a dozen years.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with a failure of government intelligence that will likely haunt the U.S. intelligence community for many years. Today, a special congressional committee released a report which describes, for the first time, just how many warnings the U.S. had before the September attacks that Osama bin Laden had plans for the United States. ABC's Linda Douglas is on Capitol Hill. Some of this must have been hard for the intelligence community to listen to.
It was, Peter. This newly declassified intelligence shows that the government got several tips that Osama bin Laden might be planning to attack the United States and that he might want to use an airplane as a weapon. The committee's chief investigator testified that in July 2001, senior government officials were warned in a briefing that Osama bin Laden will launch a significant terrorist attack against U.S. and/or Israeli interests in the coming weeks. The attack will be spectacular and designed to inflict mass casualties. Attack preparations have been made.
The community experienced a significant rise in information indicating that bin Laden and al-Qaeda intended to strike against United States interests in the very near future.
The newly released intelligence shows U.S. officials knew about the possibility of an airplane attack for 6 years.
There was apparently little, if any, effort by intelligence community analysts to produce any strategic assessments of terrorists using aircraft as weapons.
Among the other intelligence information, an August 1998 report that Arabs planned to fly an explosive-laden plane into the World Trade Center. A September 1998 report that Osama bin Laden's forces might fly an aircraft loaded with explosives into a U.S. airport. A fall 1998 report of a bin Laden plot involving aircraft in the New York and Washington, D.C. areas. But there is no easy answer to the question on everyone's mind.
If they had had all the information that you've collected and documented in your report, could 9/11 have been prevented?
No one will ever really know whether 9/11 could have been prevented.
Now, the congressional investigators say that the intelligence agencies were simply overwhelmed with information and they did not know if the sources of that information were credible. But many in Congress now say that there are still more questions than answers. And, Peter, they want a blue ribbon commission to dig deeper.
Many thanks, Linda. Linda Douglas on Capitol Hill. The FBI sent a notice today to thousands of law enforcement officers warning them that terrorists may be planning to hijack passenger jets again, and that they should not expect to recognize the hijackers. The FBI is also concerned, it says, that the al-Qaeda network wants to sneak explosives onto planes that cannot be detected. Here's ABC's Pierre Thomas.
The FBI warns that al-Qaeda members have discussed hijacking a commercial airliner using Muslim extremists of non-Arabic appearance to slip past security.
They are very creative, and just look at how well they hid themselves here in the United States prior to the September 11th attacks.
The FBI says the plans involve using 10 to 20 men who fought in the Russian region of Chechnya, Muslims affiliated with al-Qaeda but already present in the United States, to overwhelm the crew from seats in first class. Other discussions called for sneaking liquid explosives mixed with coffee in carry-on luggage. Aviation sources say current airport technology would not detect such explosives.
Law enforcement sources emphasize the al-Qaeda discussions took place before last year's September 11th attacks, and that there's no information indicating current ongoing planning.
Still, sources say, given al-Qaeda's tendency toward long-term planning, there is always reason for concern.
Al-Qaeda does plan years in advance, and we've seen this over and over again. Very, very long planning cycles, sometimes up to 2 or 3 years.
According to sources, today's bulletin is based on the interrogation of a recently captured al-Qaeda member. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
In a Buffalo, New York courtroom today, there was a bail hearing for the 6 suspected members of an alleged al-Qaeda cell. The government prosecution said the men had trained at an al-Qaeda camp in Afghanistan, where they were, the government said, taught to use long-range weapons and explosives. They also allegedly met with Osama bin Laden, who told them they were training to fight against Americans. The men are American, and their defense lawyers will have their turn tomorrow. To the debate about Iraq, which was on 2 very different tracks today. At the United Nations, diplomats pressed ahead with plans for weapons inspectors to return to Iraq. In Washington, President Bush said that Saddam Hussein's agreement to allow the inspectors back in was a ploy. And on Capitol Hill, the Secretary of Defense was making the case for war. Here's ABC's John McCarthy.
Defense Secretary Rumsfeld argued for an early vote of support for use of force.
It's important that Congress send that message before the UN Security Council votes.
Rumsfeld faced skepticism from visitors in the hearing room and from members of the House Armed Services Committee.
We have been offered unconditional entry of UN inspectors in Iraq. Since that offer to...
No, we haven't.
Or, well, but at least it was on paper from the Iraqi government.
Come on.
Some congressmen pointed out when UN inspectors were last in Iraq, they did destroy hundreds of tons of chemical weapons, though they did not get it all.
Wouldn't it be worthwhile before we launch an attack and send our young men and women in harm's way if we could get into that country and ferret out and find some of these final stocks so that they won't be used against us?
Rumsfeld argued the president's position that inspections probably would not work. There were questions about the nature of any conflict should it happen.
What will this war look like?
You're not going to deal from the air with weapons of mass destruction. That means you would have to address the problem from the ground. Anyone who thinks it's easy or clean or antiseptic is wrong.
Also questions about the possibility of a wider war.
One of the things I have concern about is that if we attack him, he showed in the Persian Gulf War that he'll send missiles to Israel.
There is no question in my mind but that it would be in Israel's overwhelming best interest not to get involved.
That's a message the U.S. has been delivering to Israel only in private until today. John McCarthy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
The senior officer of the U.S. Central Command, General Tommy Franks, was in the Persian Gulf state of Qatar today. He met the emir, who's the ruler, to talk about increasing the level of military cooperation between Qatar and the U.S. Qatar has put its future, certainly its future security, very much under the U.S. umbrella. ABC's Bob Woodruff reports from there tonight.
This is a tiny country, a peninsula of sand and home to just 700,000 people. For much of its modern history, Qatar relied on Britain and Saudi Arabia for its defense. But by the 1980s, Qatar discovered it was sitting on a treasure, the biggest, purest natural gas field in the world. And when Iraq invaded Kuwait, Qatar's royal family realized only one country could protect its wealth.
The only power that can project power in this part of the world is the United States, only. There's nobody else.
So in the mid-90s, Qatar began building the Al Udeid Air Base and invited the U.S. to use it. Now that base is critical for the U.S. It can handle 120 planes, has the longest runway in the Persian Gulf, and is within easy striking distance of Baghdad.
Qatar is a very unique position. It's in the middle of the Gulf. Okay. I mean, it's literally in the middle of the Gulf.
So strategically for the U.S., it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Politically, Qatar is passive. The large U.S. military presence that would stir passionate debate or even outrage in many other Arab countries is hardly even talked about here. In part, that's because native Qataris are well-to-do, with little desire for dissent. 3/4 of the population are foreign workers. They would risk being thrown out if they made political trouble. On the subject of Iraq, most people told us they have no opinion. We don't get involved in political affairs, this man said. We have faith in God. I'm not worried about anything. American culture is pervasive in Qatar, and American education has become so popular, Cornell University is building a 4-year medical school here. It is a rich country with enough natural gas to make it much, much richer. And U.S. military power is making it possible. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Qatar.
We have two other items in the overseas briefing today. In northern Israel, a suicide bomber blew himself up after he was stopped by police southeast of the city of Haifa. An Israeli policeman died and 5 others were injured. It is the first suicide attack inside Israel in more than a month. And there was another move today towards reconciliation by North and South Korea. Today they celebrated the start of a joint project to rebuild the train lines across their heavily fortified border. They were cut 50 years ago. When we come back this evening, bad times at the nation's #1 fast food chain. The experimental surgery that will make hip replacement less painful and easier to recover from. We'll take a closer look.
I'm amazingly pain-free. I was not expecting. I was going to do the grit your teeth, and that's okay. I'm a guy, I can do this.
And at the end of the broadcast tonight, inside the 500,000-year-old cave that is so fragile that it cannot be touched.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Total Cereals.
Hi, grape nuts, please. You know, it'd take 4 bowls of grape nuts to equal the B vitamins in just 1 bowl of Total.
4 bowls. Dig in, Lumpy.
Special K, please.
That'd take 16 bowls to equal the zinc in Total.
16 bowls. Eat up, sweetie.
Shredded wheat? 40 bowls to equal the calcium in Total.
40 bowls. Chow down, big boy.
You need Total. It's got 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other cereal comes close. Total, please.
Total for me.
We're out of bowls.
Total Raisin Bran. What are you getting for breakfast?
Looking for a snack that's low in fat but still high in taste? Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop is 94% fat-free, 100% delicious. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers today and start popping smart.
Nature made it. Minwax makes it beautiful with rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Nothing I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
These people want to prove something to you. That nobody knows your vehicle like the people at Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury dealerships. They'll prove it with convenient Saturday service hours and low prices. Right now, they'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and more for $34.95 or less. These people want your business. Let them prove it with Quality Care Auto Service at Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury dealerships.
There's something different about Michael.
He's like this health nut. He runs, he bikes. He's kind of freaking me out.
He's exercising and drinking Ensure. It gives you complete balanced nutrition when you can't eat right.
Whatever it is, I like it.
Ensure.
Danielle Van Dam. For the first time, her parents tell their whole story. Tomorrow, a first look on Good Morning America. Then the full exclusive on a special primetime.
In the national briefing tonight, a developing story. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Seattle says it has closed down a network of brothels trafficking in women from Asia. 8 people have been charged so far. The women were apparently located, or rather rotated, through locations in Los Angeles, Portland, and Seattle, as well as several cities on the East Coast. Prosecutors say that the women were working to pay off what it cost them to get to the United States. In Salt Lake City today, the Olympic Committee said last winter's games made $100 million profit. Much of the money will go towards maintaining the new facilities which were built for the games. The 1984 Los Angeles Olympics hold the record for profits, $225 million. On Wall Street today, shares of McDonald's fell another 4%. The company's stock is down 16% in the last 2 days after it said that sales and profits would be weaker than expected. McDonald's is still an American institution and the largest restaurant chain in the world, but as ABC's Betsy Stark is here to tell us tonight, the company is in some trouble.
These are tough times for the Golden Arches, Peter. Sales are slowing, profits are shrinking. The stock is at a 7-year low. The company that serves 46 million customers a day in 121 countries is facing one of the greatest challenges in its history.
Hi, can I help you?
I'll have your chicken BLT salad.
Competition is one of McDonald's biggest problems. McDonald's is still the 800-pound gorilla of the industry, but for now, rivals such as Wendy's, White Castle, and Jack in the Box are beating them at their own game.
The food, the service, the facilities, they're all getting old. You know, they're not keeping up with everybody else.
The company that invented Fast and Friendly isn't doing either very well right now.
It's just not there. It looks like slop and go.
Poor service is the #1 complaint of McDonald's customers, according to the restaurant analyst at Citigroup, which does deals for McDonald's and owns its stock.
Too often when people go into McDonald's, they get service with a sneer instead of service with a smile. And the quicker McDonald's fixes that, the better for them, the better for their customers.
Some of what ails McDonald's ails the rest of the industry, too. Cheeseburgers and French fries are an unhealthy diet for an aging population with a national weight problem.
It's too much fat. It's too much fat, and I think all of us recognize that.
McDonald's hopes some new salads on the menu will bring back older customers. The chain is also committed to speeding up service, and it says it will slow down the rate at which it opens new restaurants. At its peak, Peter, it was opening 7 a day around the world.
Still a lot of people in a lot of countries.
That's right.
Many thanks, Betsy Stark. When we come back this evening, we'll take a closer look at the experimental surgery for hip replacement.
Healthy Choice introduces everything you love about a grilled meal without the grill. New Healthy Choice mixed grills. Tender chunks of grilled chicken with seared-in flavor, tangy barbecue dipping sauce, and crisp vegetables. A delicious way to eat healthy. Real food and plenty of it.
Just the way I like it. Grilled.
6 new mixed grills from Healthy Choice.
Here, kitty, watch the birdie. Oh, look at this. Why would Windex make a wipe? Because they're the quick, easy way to shine just about anything. Are you making that up?
Introducing new Windex wipes. For a streak-free shine, no leading wipe can touch.
New Windex wipes shine just about anything, especially glass. This is too easy.
Reach for new Windex wipes. The wipe that shines. SC Johnson Family Company.
Ooh, banana.
Perfect.
What you doing there?
Just admiring your banana bread, ma'am.
Great job.
We took the taste of fresh-baked banana bread for Quaker Oatmeal Deluxe Collection. So good, you'll wonder where we got the recipe.
Wherever you go, whatever you go through, dry, scratchy, irritated eyes don't have to come with the territory. You've got Visine Tears. Whenever eyes get dry, scratchy, irritated, Visine Tears can soothe, moisturize, and protect like your own natural tears. And best of all, Visine Tears is safe to use as often as you need. Visine Tears relieves dry eyes like your own natural tears.
Whiskas knows how to get your cat's attention. New Whiskas Tender Bites, tiny morsels lightly coated in gravy. They're the smaller bites with a big taste. New Tender Bites from Whiskas.
I didn't know about today's
Purple pill called Nexium.
But I spoke to my doctor.
and now I do.
Call this number for more information and a Nexium free trial offer. Nexium, today's purple pill.
Do you know about it?
Tomorrow, the promising new cancer treatment that's shrinking tumors dramatically. How it works. Don't miss this special medical report tomorrow on World News Tonight.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at a kinder, gentler approach to hip replacement surgery. 200,000 Americans every year, most with severe arthritis, have an operation to take out their hip and replace it with an artificial one. In the last 5 years, surgeons have increasingly been able to do this in a less invasive way. ABC's John McKenzie reports tonight on taking less invasive to another level. It is medicine on the cutting edge.
It's 6 a.m. and Rick Ritacco and his wife arrive at Chicago's Rush Presbyterian Medical Center. Ritacco, who's 49, is about to have surgery to replace his right hip.
It just got to the point where my physical activity was limited simply because my hip wouldn't move.
You can see here his normal left hip
with the joint space between the two bones. That's where the cartilage is. Here's his right hip. You can see he's lost all of his joint space. That's his right hip that we're going to replace.
At 7:30,
let's go.
Ritako is wheeled to the operating room, where he will be fully sedated. Unlike traditional hip replacement surgery, which can require a 6 to 8 inch cut down the thigh, this new experimental technique involves two much smaller incisions, about 1.5 inches, here and here. That allows the surgeon to work between muscles and tendons, as opposed to slicing through them.
We'll put some retractors around here so we can see quite nicely.
After surgeons break apart and remove Ritako's arthritic hip, they prepare the new artificial joint that will replace it.
This is the ball and socket joint, which is now the new hip.
These are the same components you'd use in normal hip replacement surgery?
Absolutely the same.
Going through those same small incisions, doctors assemble the pieces inside the body. In less than 2 hours, the new hip is in place. 3 screws holding it together. But because there was less cutting on the body, patients have much less pain.
They take 1/5 of the pain medication.
And shorter recoveries.
The conventional hip replacement surgery, in most places, patients stay in the hospital about 3 to 5 days. With this particular surgery, more than 80% of our patients go home the same day.
Especially patients who are lean and fit.
How you feeling?
Within 20 minutes of arriving in the recovery room, Ritako was already lifting his leg and moving his hip. A few hours later, he's with a physical therapist and starting to stand.
They're both arms.
I am shocked. This is much better than I could have ever expected.
By 4 o'clock that afternoon, less than 6 hours after the surgery, Ritako is walking out the door. Doctors now want to see more cases like this, followed for several years, to see if there are any long-term complications. John McKenzie, ABC News, Chicago.
Just to review, this is experimental. Less invasive surgery is certainly the trend, but only a few doctors do this, and the medical community at large is waiting for results that are more, as John said, more comprehensive. When we come back, an incredible discovery, secret for many years.
This is a shrimp boat, and this is a boatload of shrimp. 30 mix and match shrimp for just $9.99 now at Red Lobster. Boatload. Got it.
Must have folded my millionth sweater. I'm starving.
Want some chicken and stars?
Condensed soup? That's for the kiddie section. We're big girls now. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso chicken noodle. Tender pieces of all white meat chicken with bigger slices of vegetables. And just the right seasonings. See the difference?
You're right. This tastes better.
Now about those Mary Janes.
It's time to go to the better taste, the Progresso.
Imagine if you could always have this much personal space. Avalon, the most luxurious sedan you've ever created.
'Cause I can't stop loving you. No, I can't stop loving you.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I've got to go now.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
Need a break?
Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA, when you've always got to go.
We're in a Florida firehouse for the Tilex Mildew Challenge. These tough, sweaty firemen have been showering day in and day out to see if they can build up a case of mildew too tough for Tilex Mildew Remover. Well, sound the alarm. Just one spray of Tilex, and without scrubbing, that tough, ugly mildew is blasted, dead, gone. That mildew didn't stand a chance. Tilex Mildew Remover. Proof nothing's tougher than Tilex.
Heartburn?
Uh-huh.
Oh, pick me! Anything for pressure and bloating?
No.
That's heartburn and gas. I treat it all. Maalox Max. Fast heartburn and gas relief.
No, I'm feeling the pressure.
Maalox Max. When you have it all, treat it all.
A Portland man sentenced for weapons and fraud convictions, and a federal judge decides if the evidence links him to terrorism. I'm Steve Dunn. Also on K2 News at 6:30, lawmakers want to raise income taxes, see how their proposal would affect your tax bracket, and it started the downward spiral for Oregon schools. Up next, the legislation many supported in the 90s that we're paying for now.
ABC News, honored with 6 Emmy Awards, and World News Tonight singled out twice. No wonder more Americans get their news from ABC News.
Finally, this evening, we are going to go to the Sonoran Desert in Arizona for a brief but fascinating trip through a cave that was kept secret by the men who found it for a very long time. The men thought it was so extraordinary they didn't want it spoiled. ABC's Judy Muller and our cameraman, Scott Schulman, have gone where a lot of people, including us, wouldn't go.
Hidden beneath the searing, dry heat of the Sonoran Desert, it's underground opposite, a wet wonderland.
The cave probably started forming around 500,000 years ago.
And it's still growing. Kartchner Caverns is what's known as a living cave. Water seeping from above has created the most pristine cave system in the world. Its caretakers have spent millions of dollars to keep it that way, right down to high-tech temperature sensors.
We're sort of setting the new standard for how a cave is developed.
When you go inside, we ask you not to touch anything.
Visitors enter through an airlock to prevent the cave from drying out. Lighting is dim, so algae won't grow. Even so, visitors see crystal clear pools, soda straw stalactites, towering columns, and footprints left by the 2 men who first came here.
With the discovery came responsibility to take care of this.
Gary Tennant and his friend Randy Tufts discovered the caverns in 1974. The 2 amateur cavers first entered through this very narrow sinkhole. They weren't optimistic. They'd explored many sinkholes that were dead ends. They crawled more than 100 feet, often on their bellies.
I've seen areas like this. You gotta relax and exhale.
Just as they were ready to give up, their small lights revealed something wondrous, an enormous room full of nature's artwork.
We were speechless, just reduced to giggling.
Despite their excitement, the 2 men kept the cave a secret for 14 years while they drew up plans for protecting this delicate resource.
We knew we had to bring people like surveyors through and cave experts through, and so we had our attorney draw up a secrecy agreement.
The public was kept in the dark until the late 90s, when the cave was made a state park with state-of-the-art protections and a legacy of environmental stewardship that even the youngest visitors understand.
I was just trying to keep my hands down, trying not to touch it because it looks so cool.
And why did you not touch it?
Because I knew that it would ruin the place.
A place that is now guaranteed to keep growing, one slow drop at a time. Judy Muller, ABC News, near Tucson, Arizona.
That's our report on the broadcast tonight. Tomorrow, the Gulf War veterans who went to Iraq more than 10 years ago, and they now face the prospect of going back to fight again. Don't forget Nightline later this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good evening. Good night.
His whole life is a story of heroism that will thrill your heart. Christopher Reeve, Courageous Steps, tonight, 10/9 Central. And Friday, Barbara Walters with Christopher and Dana Reeve.
Chris, I'm amazed.
2020 on ABC.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, a federal court judge and Portland's anti-terrorism task force are at odds over this man. One says he's not linked to terrorism, the other believes he is. Plus, the FBI busts a West Coast prostitution ring with ties to Portland and Seattle. And Oregon lawmakers want voters to approve an income tax hike to balance the state budget. See how it would affect your budget.
Live at 6:30, K2 News with Paul Lindman, Steve Dunn, and exclusive microcast weather with Rob Marciano. K2 and you, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
I'm Natalie Marmy, and Paul's off tonight. First on 2, a Portland man is sentenced for weapons and fraud convictions.
He was arrested by the Joint Terrorism Task Force, but a federal judge says there's no evidence he's a terrorist. K2's Anna Song joins us now with the latest. Anna?
Steve and Natalie, Ali Khaled State, he was picked up by Portland police last year after he illegally tried to buy an assault rifle at a Tiger gun shop. Today, a federal judge sentenced him to 2.5 years in prison, but she called him a common criminal, not a terrorist. Ali Khaled Stati